I'm Julie Perissel. I'm the founder of Ivigo. I graduated from the program 6 months ago. I actually came in with just an idea. So I had no product, I had nothing. I just had a problem with charging my EV. That's how it all started. And my background is Scrum Master. So for me, the weekly sprint worked really well for me, and I love the challenge. All the mentors. It was just amazing. Back in May, we didn't have anything. We didn't have a product. To now we've got an app. Every time I see the app, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it's real, and it's happened so fast. And going through the Founder Institute, it's like, it's helped me validate the problem. So me having trouble charging my electric vehicle, through user interview and through the program, I realized that a lot of people had the same problem, and it sort of gave me the confidence. And the weekly pitch, answering questions, it's hard at the time, but it prepares you. And trust me, out there, it's even harder. Number one, move fast, like keep hustling, going into the real world and networking, talking to people. The more people you talk to, I'm always pitching. I go to calls and I'm pitching to the lady I'm talking to. It's been true that anyone I talk to is either like a potential customer or a potential partner or investor. Even like it's happened to me that I'm talking to someone and it just happens that they're investors, like angel investors or anything, or they can be advisors or mentors. So, or they know someone. One advice that I had that I've heard at the Founder Institute that really stick with me as well is fall in love with the problem. So we're solving a problem and not with the solution, because like for me, anything that's going to solve the problem is valid, and that helps you mindset as well, like having to pivot when you have to, because it's sort of like, what's the fastest way? And for me, it's like our why is like we want to help, we want to support the transition to electric vehicle because we believe that it's more sustainable. To me, it's like this is the way to net zero, and there's an urgency in that. So this is my why, and then anything that we will do that has the most impact, this is what we're going to do. So, and we didn't have major pivot, but we've already pivoted during the Founder Institute, and then since then, be focused and show real traction. So we need, you'll have to show numbers. You'll have to see, we've reached out to so many people. We've got that many conversion. All this kind of thing is so important to demonstrate traction when you start talking to investors. The last one I put, and you've mentioned Rebecca, but one of the things that I got out of the way as soon as I finished the Founder Institute, and some of it during the Founder Institute, but it's to have like a really robust shareholder agreement. I've set up my ESOP. I did all the legal bits early on, because then it's sort of like, even between my co-founder, I think it was, once we got this out of the way, we were focused on like, okay, let's deliver, rather than being like, oh, what this happened. So sometimes it's uncomfortable discussions to have, because you think about everything that can go wrong. But and Rebecca was really helpful during the program as well with that. But and I don't like the legal stuff, so I'm like, I got it first and then got it out of the way, and now it's like it's good. And then even when people come in, when I started reaching out to advisors, I actually got all my top advisors that I had on my target list. But it's like I was coming in, I was saying, this is our why, this is our vision. Oh, and by the way, I've already got an ESOP in place. It looks like, okay, well, she's organized, and it just looked good. And the final one that I want to say, it's really look after yourself. This is not a race. It's a marathon, and I'm not the best person to talk to it, but you need to be there, and not just you as founders, but when you have team, is like you need to make sure that the team, like, you can all get to the finish line together, because that's the most important. But yeah, so look after yourself. That's it. So in summary, is like pitch, hustle, talk to people, grow your network, and at the same time, stay focused.
My quick background for context, you probably figured out from my accent. I'm Irish, moved to Sydney about 4 years ago. And I was a corporate lawyer, had no startup experience, had no network whatsoever, really, in startup or business world in Australia. And that was the main reason I joined Founder Institute. There was an educational aspect, but a big thing for me was I don't know anyone in this space, and I've never done this before. So how am I going to get access to people who know and understand and who are going to rip my idea to shreds? What do I need to learn quickly and in a structured way? And so the Founder Institute was a fairly pivotal thing that I did in my journey. it was challenging, but in a good way. And so I would encourage everyone to really, if you're here, buy into the structure and the program. It does pay dividends. In terms of the business we've built, in a nutshell, we enable people with dietary needs to navigate life. The genesis and the idea for Foodini came from a problem that I had myself. So I was diagnosed with celiac disease, which means gluten-free in essence, when I was 10 years old. I had, most of my life experiencing how difficult a problem it was to navigate. And anyone here who has a family member, a friend, a coworker who has an allergy or a dietary requirement will understand what a pain it is to just find venues to eat at, trust and have confidence in the venues you're going to, and just navigate the problem holistically. So that was the catalyst for founding what is now Foodini, but it didn't start that way.
But for those of you who have never met me, my name's Evan. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Checkbox. I was one of you a few years ago. I went through the Sydney FI program. Ben picked me out and I had the most incredible learning experience and definitely would not be the founder I am today without the Founder Institute being my backbone. These slides that you're looking at here were the early drawings that I'm pretty sure I actually had these in my FI pitches back in the day to explain the concept of what we're building. I want you to understand that ideation is not a moment. It is a process. And as you come into FI, you would have come with an idea of what you think you're building, the company that you're building. But just know that you'll be pivoting. And any good founder in the beginning will be pivoting rapidly, because the chances of you landing on an idea that is actually a viable business and not just a cool idea is quite rare. Likely, you will need to get bashed up like I did, speak to customers, get rejected, be completely hopeless over months and months, and through many pivots, get to something that actually people will buy at scale. Please do not be discouraged. It's very normal to take a lot of pivots to get to, a viable business idea. It's a process, not a moment. So don't put too much pressure on yourselves of having the right idea at this early stage of your journey.
First of all, I'm not being paid to be here. So I can say with absolute honesty, the course was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. The course is amazing and your teachers are brilliant. So you're in really good hands. And if you're sitting there this evening swallowing a bit hard, don't worry, that's exactly how I felt on my first night. And yet, not only did I pass, but I actually came top of the year. So how is that even possible? Well, I'm going to tell you so that you can also get through the course. I came top because I did two things, which if you do, you will also thrive. Firstly, never give up. Libby calls it her unrelenting discipline. I think that's your line, Libby. And I love that. Most people didn't get thrown off the course. They gave up. And that was a real revelation to me. I thought we were all going to get taps on the shoulders and told to get out. Didn't happen. My second tip is do exactly as FI suggest. Follow their model exactly. If you do their system, you will not only get through the course, but you will probably get a successful startup. So how was the course different from what I expected? It was not about soaring intelligence. It was not about technical wizardry. It was about perseverance and following the FI process.
My advice, which is what I did, would be to ask lots of questions. They're actually an incredibly generous group of people. And I found that in the startup world in general, people are very willing to be generous with their time and their knowledge and their connections. So ask questions, take their advice on board. Sometimes their advice hurts. Sometimes it's pretty brutal, but better that they tell you that in a safe space than you be sitting opposite an investor or a potential business partner and them tell you. So please take their advice on board and never write anyone off. You just never know when their expertise will be just what you need to move forward. There's a wide range of mentors with lots of diversity in their experience and their business background. So take advantage of the people who are there and really reach out to them. The practical lessons each week, like testing your product market fit, those sort of lessons were really valuable and not lessons that I would have got anywhere else. I always liken doing Founder Institute to doing a turbocharged MBA. There's just a lot of practical work that you cover. The second thing that benefited my journey was really being forced to be disciplined. I run a business as well as doing my startup. So this was really, it started as a side hustle. And so it required a lot of discipline to get all the work done each week. Building a startup is hard work, but it's also incredibly satisfying. But you do have to recognize that it takes a lot of blood, sweat and tears. They don't call it sweat equity for nothing. The third thing, which I think I found the most valuable, was pitching, learning to pitch my business. And I pitch my business every day. I don't always, do the 3-minute pitch, but every day somebody asks me what it's about and I have to tell them, the elevator pitch. And so being forced to practice that has not only made me get clear in my mind what the business is and what the benefits of the business are, but it's also given me a lot more confidence than I ever had before. Really embrace that. It's fantastic for your personal development as well as anything else.